Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer and I am here to build some model kits and to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to go ahead and throw the Bear Cave, the link on the site, the tier 2 blue emote in chat. If you are currently subscribing, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet subscribing, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you want to be a lurker, you can just go ahead and lurk. You don't have to say anything. It's totally okay. Before I start saying hi to people when they put emotes in the chat, I do want to give a shout out to Harold, who before the stream really kicked off did give 50 cheer. So thank you very much, Harold. Cha-ching. Appreciate you, Harold. And welcome to the cheerleader board. Appreciate that. But yeah, it's Saturday night. The stream awards are happening. DICE is a thing. You know, there's stuff going on out there. It's the first weekend without football, so people are eagerly anticipating the thinking about football in the future and not watching the weird extra football that's going to start up that no one really cares about. I mean, I'm sure some people do, but nobody really does. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. It's a fine Saturday evening. This is the All-Star basketball is happening, so I don't have wrestling to watch after the stream is over tonight. Normally I watch the West Coast feed of AW Collision, but there is no Collision tonight, so I cannot watch that. And Harold says it's NASCAR season. It is. There's races, and I hope they're great. I hope you have a good time with those races and you enjoy what you're watching, and it's fun. It's also apparently rainy season. Yeah, that's the thing with this time of year. Is if it's not snowing, it's raining in many places. So it's a bummer. But hopefully seasons work out for everybody and everybody is, feeling good about it. What was I gonna say? I don't know what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something. I guess I will say, let's get into it. Let's finish up this Sandrock and then start on the AGE-1 Normal. And we'll go to their overhead camera. Boom. There we are. There's our kit. Not looking good for Daytona tomorrow. That's a shame. But yeah, outdoor events, they run into trouble. So the Sandrock is, by all accounts here, we could call this done. It doesn't have a backpack. It doesn't have a weapon. It doesn't have a shield. It's not really done, but we could call it done or not. I'll catch you later, Harold. Enjoy Loading Ready Live. I'll be watching that tonight after in replay. I'll watch the VOD, the Loading Ready Run. The fine folks at Loading Ready Run doing Loading Ready Live, and that'll be fun to check out. I have been a subscriber to Loading Ready Run for 4 years. I was going to say 2 years. That was my joke. That I was like, 2 years. And it's like, no, it was 4 years. I've been a subscriber for 4 years on that channel. Not every month. I have missed months on occasion. But a total of 4 years. 4 years total. We got 18. So we need A18. We eventually are going to need a 17, so we'll just get that out later. We're doing the backpack. Should be a pretty straightforward, pretty easy build to put this backpack on. Then the shield's going to have a sticker or two. I am excited to work on the AGE-1 Normal. That tied our poll. I did have a tie for my $10 patrons on what I should be building. That and the Double X from Gundam X tied, and so I flipped a coin. And the AGE-1 won that coin toss, so it's the next thing they'll be building. With the understanding for myself that after that, I'll build a Double X. So those are the next two things that will be on the agenda. So look forward to that. We're getting a wide variety of Gundam here. We're basically going the 90s, the 2010s, the 90s. Pop back in. The Double X. I have built a master grade of that kit. Don't think I've ever built that high grade. I couldn't find evidence. There exists a possibility that I built it back before I started building on stream, but I don't remember that. And also, that doesn't count because if I didn't do it for y'all, I didn't do it. Hey, folks watching, have I talked about this? That someone left a comment on one of my VODs that I had built for a kit that I had built a long time ago. If I brought this up before, please let me know. I'm gonna try to find that comment. Um, but I'm gonna pretend like let's see if I can find her. Okay, let's see. Can I find this? No. Okay, yeah. I don't think I talked about this. I'm going to talk about it again. My apologies. Someone on my YouTube left a comment saying, "Is this kit really as bad as people make out?" This was 10 days ago. And it's about a model kit, the Perfect Grade Wing Zero Custom. So that's the Endless Waltz Wing Zero. Is the Endless Waltz Wing Zero Perfect Grade really as bad as people make out? And I replied, I can tell you that the feathers were annoying. I at least remember that, but that's all I remember. Because you may not know this, you may know this, you may remember this, you may not remember this. The model kit that this person is asking about is a kit that I built almost exactly 6 years ago. And when I say almost exactly, I mean literally exactly the stream number 56, because in the beginning I numbered the streams. I don't know why I did that, but I used to number the streams. So literally exactly 6 years ago, 2/17/18, I worked on this model kit and somebody asked, "Hey, is this kit really as bad as people make out?" And now they have not replied to my reply to them, because I did write, I built this kit 6 years ago. Now, from my memory of the Perfect Grade Wing Zero Custom, yeah, that kit is annoying. That kit is pretty dang annoying. I might even say it's very annoying because the wings are a pain in the ass to put together. Now, there could be other things about that kit that are bad that I don't remember, because again, I built that 6 years ago. I do think that if Mr. Fusion 182, the person that left that comment, has seen my reply, then maybe they would recognize, oh, this guy built this, started this is a 6-year-old video. Maybe that person doesn't remember. It's wild to me. One, that is a video that they found, presumably, I said blee there. One could make the assumption that this person has been wondering about this model kit and searched for YouTube videos about it and found mine and decided they were going to leave me a comment about it. And they didn't notice the upload date of the video, right? It's weird. It's just weird, I guess. It's just weird to look at and to think about. I hope that my answer. I put this on wrong, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Shit. I keep messing this backpack up. Put it on the wrong way. I hope that my answer helped them. I hope that me saying, talking about the feathers being annoying is helpful to them in their purchasing decision. And then I guess shout outs to the anonymous person that bought me a Perfect Grade to build. I do know who it is, but they did not include their name when I got that kit. So I'm not going to call them out, but thank you. All right, I think the third time that I have assembled this, I am doing it right now. I think I'm doing all of the parts of this correctly now. We should be good here. Yes, I now believe that we are good here. So we can put the rockets in. But yeah, I guess I didn't bring that up. I thought I had, but as far as I know, I haven't. It was just so weird. Like old comments or whatever. Like I'm putting this stuff out there, so people can certainly leave comments. Generally, it's newer things. Actually, most of the comments I get are people commenting on my comments, and every once in a while, I get one of those. I get one of those like, I ended up eventually deleting this comment. It was on a video about Black Clover, and I was talking about one of the characters who is a real fucking creep, and he's the shittiest character in the show, and somebody was trying to defend that character, and then that became a whole thing. That eventually I just deleted that comment because it wasn't worth it to get those comments like months and months later. And then every once in a while, someone tells me I'm wrong about a comment I made on a Hunter x Hunter video, and I'm not wrong. And so I won't delete that comment because I'm not wrong. The anime and the manga changed the relationship of, or they changed a fact about early moments in Hunter x Hunter. Basically, the anime made the original run of the anime made, in my opinion, a terrible decision. They made the woman that raises Gon the sister of his mother, instead of the sister of his father, because they thought that would be nice because he doesn't think about, hey, Dirty, because Gon never thinks about his birth mother or knows anything about her. I guess they thought that would be better, and maybe because the mangaka hadn't been specific, but that doesn't work in the theory that his mother isn't a real person. That it's because there is a fan theory that Gon doesn't have a mother, or Gon's father is Gon's mother. There's a bunch of fan nonsense about that. And that doesn't necessarily work, the idea that she doesn't exist if the woman that raised him is, like, it's one thing to call her an aunt. It's another to be like, oh, yeah, that's your birth mother's sister. Because that's not in the manga. That's just in the anime. So when I say, when I'm like, oh, actually, my nonsense fan theory is this, this, and this, which is true that it's nonsense. Someone was just like, well, that doesn't work because that's his aunt. And I'm like, no. We have two options here for our blades. We can do the traditional gray, or we can do the cool heat, the red see-through or red clear. And obviously we are going to do the clear. Like, there's no, like, I clip these out because whatever, but we're not going to use these. Put these aside. We'll use these if these break somehow. Like, what? No. Obviously we're going to do the cooler blades. We got to do the cool blades. Gots to do the cool blades. These go together very easily. They just fit. It's just pressure fit. Just pressure fitting them. This goes down. This side up. And they go in there. So yeah, I don't remember a lot about old model kits that I have built. Every once in a while, I do get people that ask me questions about the model kits that I have assembled. And I feel bad that I have no fucking memory of those things. I often have no fucking memory about them. I wish I did. I just don't. But, I do on occasion try to be able to answer people's questions. They're like, hey, what did you think of this kit? And I have to be like, let me see my tweets. Let me go back to my tweets and see if I talk shit about it. And then occasionally I have talked shit about it. And I go, oh, okay. Apparently I thought this at the time. Oops. Gonna pop this in here. All right. We got our blades on. We've got our cool blades. This kit is almost done. We have to build a shield, but I'm going to take a photo of it like this because when we do the shield, we will be using these blades in a different way. So I'm going to go down with one arm here. Kind of turn that out and go up with one arm. And let's get a photo of this kit here. We probably could have, I guess, stayed a little late on Thursday and wrapped this up, but I didn't want to. That's my disposition on that. I was tired on Thursday, and I didn't want to hang out just to do a more nonsense. All right. Photo done. We'll take these out of the hand here. And then we're going to put these into the backpack here. Got to pop these in the backpack. Like so. And then the backpack's going to come off and is going to go behind the shield because that looks fucking cool when we do it. So we'll take the backpack off. We're then going to build the shield, which is going to include our final sticker of the build here. What's the last sticker? This is the AGE stickers. The AGE does have some stickers. We will have to do some amount of work on the AGE, but it's fine. The AGE-1 Normal. We need that piece, and we need the two pieces here, and then we can finish this up. And then we'll do a little panel lining on the shield, and we'll call it a build, and then move on to the next thing. Let's see. Other things to talk about tonight. I don't know if you've been following this stuff, but The Rock was on SmackDown last night. Dwayne The Rock Johnson came out on SmackDown for the final segment. He's in the Bloodline. And so depending on who you believe and who you read, this has either all been a master plan or this is overreactions for a bunch of things. But anyway, The Rock is a heel. Now, why is The Rock heel? Well, The Rock is heel because people were booing The Rock. And so if The Rock is a heel... Oh, I put this on in the wrong order. That's fun. If The Rock is a heel, then the people booing him are booing him because he's a baddie, instead of booing him because they are mad at what has happened and they are mad at The Rock. So now The Rock is a heel, and he cut a very The Rock promo, a very like Hollywood Rock promo. Now, I guess instead of Hollywood Rock, we would refer to him as Bloodline Rock, of the Bloodline. And that's... Nostalgia is a fucking weird thing, y'all. Nostalgia is blinding, right? Like, there was something very fun about Hollywood Rock, Hollywood Rocky. You know, that heel run had something going where The Rock was just like trash talking, and he was trash talking with the best of them. And sometimes he wouldn't say nonsense things. His insults would be nonsense. They wouldn't make any sense. They would be just whatever. But he would end with, if you smell, and you go, ha, pretty cool. And like, even if you were just like, you were like, yeah, Rock sucks, but that was fun. And you just kind of like say whatever. And it is what it is, right? And that works until it doesn't. And in that case, it did work for quite some time. But when I say The Rock gave a Hollywood Rock promo, I mean he is just doing I'm better than you heel. Like, there's nothing to it. There's no bite to it. And you know what? Classic, this town sucks, you're all stupid, you're lucky I'm here. That's a classic heel shit, right? That's very classic. I'm not here to say that isn't a formula or a style that works. Lord Crashington says, hey, Pat is on 40 stream streak. That's awesome. Thank you, Lord Crashington. Welcome. So I'm not saying that like classic heel shit doesn't have its place in wrestling, because it does. I'm saying if you are hanging out with the biggest heel in the company, if you are the number 2 heel or tied with the number 1 heel, if you are standing directly next to Roman Reigns, the guy who has a chokehold on the top of the division, the guy that wins by cheating constantly, over and over again, that can back it up and chooses not to back it up, instead rely on his family, who he treats horribly. If you are going to stand there and be the number 2 heel in the company, or the number 1 heel in the company, I think you got to come with something better than smacking the herpes out of someone's mouth, threatening to. I think you got to come better with, do better, come with more than, that's what I'm trying to say. You got to come with more than insults that you used last time around. Telling people sing along with The Rock is over. Sing along where The Rock has been over before. As I said, heel shit like that has its place, certainly. And there are heels that do that shtick all over the place. But not at the top of the card. Like, what do you got at the top of the card as far as heels go? Like, the other biggest heel in the company is Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre is saying shit that is right, but he's an asshole about it. And he's laughing. He literally, this is a thing that Drew McIntyre has said, was that he prayed for something bad to happen to a wrestler and his prayers were answered. And now he's mocking that injured wrestler that can't be at WrestleMania. And it's incredible, because I don't like CM Punk as a wrestler or as a person, but damn, dude, that guy got hurt. Fuck off, Drew McIntyre. In kayfabe, fuck off. You got me. I'm fucking mad about that. I want Drew McIntyre to get his comeuppance. And now he's costing Sami Zayn matches, and he's fucking with Sami Zayn, who I love. Kayfabe and otherwise. Well, fuck off, Drew McIntyre. I hope you get Haluva kicked in the face. That's your competition. That's The Rock's competition. And The Rock is out here fucking doing corporate bullshit from 10 years ago that didn't work. And it doesn't match up. It is change the channel heat. It is go away heat. It's X-Pac heat, which I've never agreed with, because X-Pac rules. X-Pac heat is this idea that there are wrestlers who people are booing them not because that they're wrestlers, that they're getting heat because, like, oh, I don't like this wrestler, I'm going to boo them. It's, I don't want to see this wrestler. This wrestler is making me uninterested in checking out the show. And there is a perception that that is X-Pac because 1-2-3 Kid, X-Pac, was in a lot of big storylines and always around people that he you know, it's perceived that he was that were better than him. And so the perceived thing is that, you know, he had X-Pac heat, which never really made sense to me because X-Pac rules and was good at wrestling and was the guy that wrestled in his crews. Every crew X-Pac has been in, he's the guy that actually has to wrestle. To me, it's Jarrett heat, Jeff Jarrett heat. Jeff Jarrett, as world champion, is one of the reasons why WCW, the tail end of WCW, fucking sucks and is unwatchable. Part of that is because of Jeff Jarrett being champion. Same thing in TNA. Anytime Jeff Jarrett was champion in TNA, I was far less interested in watching the program because Jeff Jarrett didn't do much besides call people slapnuts and hit them with a guitar and then do the strut. So he did three things. What he didn't do was wrestle well or cut interesting promos. I never saw a Jeff Jarrett promo that made me go, I can't wait for this guy to get his ass kicked. Instead, it'd be like, what else is happening in the world of wrestling? What could I get into? Should I go back and watch some old tapes? All right, I have done the alt build here for our kit here, the shield blades, which is cool. and this is, to me, the coolest part of the Sandrock. If there's anything cool about the Sandrock, it's this. Other parts of the Sandrock, not as interested. Just about everything else in there. Because again, this kit comes with alternate blades. It doesn't come with the machine gun, which is in the photo of the kit, but it doesn't come with a machine gun, which I think is weird, but whatever. I'm going to take a photo of this, and then we're going to move on to the AGE-1 Normal, which is just the basic kit, but they call it normal, and I find that fun. All right, Sandrock. Boom it. Boom. Done. Goodbye, Sandrock. You were an all right model kit. I will not think about you. Probably again. I'll think about you again when I upload this video, and then I have to tweet about the video. And last night I built this, like whatever. I'll think about you then, because I'll have to remember what to say about the Sandrock. There we go. We got the normal. This kit should be a pretty fucking quick build because it is 1, 2, 3 sprues and long blades and short blades. We got long blades and short blades, everybody. But yeah, this kit is not, there's not much to this. Because it's the basic one. It's the, it's the normal. It's the firsty. When was this kit? This is 2013, is that right? This feels very 2013. No, it's 2011. Wow, yeah. 2011, this is a small instruction manual. This is not a reissue. This is when this kit would have come out. They put some color pages in it, but you may know, but the color pages are 1 page of building, and then they decided that the mechanics, like the show-off pages, would be in color, which is not like the worst idea, but it is kind of wild to be like, we're going to put color on all this, but not when you build. Forget when you build. Beam sabers are on the side skirt, which I like. I've always liked that in kits. So, yeah, they put them on the side skirt. That's cool. Anyway, we'll get into building here. We'll start with the chest and a little bit of the waist. And then build the head. That's standard operating procedure for model kits of this era, 2011. Lots of polycaps on this kit. Will we use every single one of these polycaps? I don't think so. I think this is just the 2008. Yeah, this is the 2008 polycap set. So we might not use all of these, but we'll use a lot of them for this. This kit does rely on that. So we'll need 2 of A. You can also tell how old this kit is because we have symbols here and not numbers for our stickers. So we will have to match symbols instead of just going, oh, it says 1. Oh, it says sticker 3. Okay. That is usually an indication of age of a kit. And there is seemingly 0 English in this instruction booklet, which again, like, yeah, sure. All right. It came out in America, but they didn't do English language on it. Sure. I'm not like mad about it. I'm never mad about it. Like, oh, damn it, they didn't put English in this kit from 2011 for a series that wasn't super successful. Like, oh, it's like, yeah, no, these are for diehard weirdos like me. I didn't buy this kit at the time, but like, I was certainly the target demographic for it. I was certainly the person they were hoping would get into this series. I did not. I didn't really like Gundam AGE that much. I was still buying seed kits. I didn't really love seed, so mostly it was just I got out of model kit building when this. I was not building model kits when this kit came out. When this was a new kit, the new hotness. I was not into the hobby anymore. I'd gotten out of the hobby for a bit. Bits and spurts. We talked about this. Moving to New York, I was immediately still invested in the hobby, but then I ran out of money for fun things. And so that was one of the first things that went was my model kits. And then I just lived in places where that was just not feasible. to get into the building, and I fell out of it. And then I wanted to get back into model kit building and also wanted to stream, and that was a good combination of my two wants into the lovely channel that we see today. Let's see, what else can we say? I will probably do a recap of next Saturday. I'll talk through what happened at Elimination Chamber Perth, because the Elimination Chamber is happening. That show is scheduled to be in a local time for Perth, so it's going to be early in the morning in the United States. For where I am on the East Coast. So I will not be watching the show live, but I will check it out later, and I will talk about the show. The card is probably going to be changing somewhat because there's only 4 matches, and I know the Elimination Chamber is certainly big, and those take a while, but still, I imagine there'll be at least one more match. We've got Judgment Day, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest taking on Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, who for the longest time had been their tag team name for many, many moons was... sorry, I put this on weird. Oops. Oh. Their tag team name for a very long time was British Strong Style, which I don't think that the WWE could license that phrase, so they didn't. So now they are referred to as the New Catch Republic, the NCR. Insert California or Fallout New Vegas joke here. Or Fallout 3, but New Vegas is probably more prominent. But yeah, the NCR are taking on the Judgment Day for the tag titles, and the Judgment Day is going to retain, I imagine. I imagine the Judgment Day will retain. I don't expect the Judgment Day to win that, but should be a good match. Real good wrestlers involved in there. So that should be good. Say that. The Women's Elimination Chamber, the Women's World Championship, which is held by Rhea Ripley, the number one contender for that, who will face Rhea Ripley or Nia Jax, at WrestleMania. That is the next thing that is up for grabs there. The Elimination Chamber is Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, and Naomi, and the winner of a Battle Royale, the Last Chance Battle Royale. Everybody that lost their qualifying matches are entered in the Battle Royale on Monday. Winner gets that final spot. I don't know who that will be. But that's, let's see. Do we have it in there? No, we don't know. Maybe it'll be Alba Fire, but I don't know. Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax for the Women's World Championship. I imagine it'll be Rhea. I assume that's headlining. I assume Rhea Ripley's going to win. She'll be treated as a babyface, even though she is a heel, because people fucking really like Rhea Ripley, because Rhea Ripley rules. And also, it's going to be in Perth, Australia, and Rhea Ripley is Australian, and one of the only Australian wrestling on the card. They have, I believe, 3 wrestlers who are Australian who work for the company as wrestlers. Grayson Waller is doing an interview segment, and he'll probably get beat up in that interview segment, and that interview segment could turn into a match. We don't know. That could just turn into a match. I could see that happening. But the other person is Bronson Reed, who isn't in the chamber, and that seems weird. But also, it could be that there are reports that his wife is expecting, so maybe they didn't have him win to enter the chamber so that he didn't have to go to Australia while his wife in America is almost due. So that could be it. Also, the men's: Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, Kevin Owens, and Logan Paul. And the winner gets the World Heavyweight Championship title match at WrestleMania. The expected winner of that one is Drew McIntyre. Drew versus Seth just makes sense. There exists the possibility it could be somebody else. That possibility seems very small. The other idea is that match, since Logan Paul is the U.S. champion, this could lead to some people in that match getting involved with like him after he already gets eliminated, costing someone else before he leaves the cage. He should immediately leave. So it could be something where he sets up like LA Knight versus Logan Paul or a rematch of Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul. We don't know. Also, I'd imagine somebody in there could end up being Gunther's next opponent towards WrestleMania. Who knows? There is a sticker here that I need to apply to this. So let's see what that sticker is. That is the eye sticker. It's not an eye, but it looks like an eye. It's this sticker here. Our first sticker is this one. Basically, we're turning this gold piece here into gold and some teal. We're adding some teal to it. And we are going to turn this piece that you can kind of see through here, we're going to cover it so that when it's, I think we're actually going to, I'm going to attach this piece here first and then put the sticker on, because basically we're turning this blue here and gold into teal and black. So I kind of want to line that up right. Yeah. All right. That works. And then we will put this piece on over it to lock in the sticker and make it look like that's always been the case here. That always was teal. Yeah, all right. That works. This kit, I said this, I think, tonight we started here that this kit was going to come together pretty quickly because there's not much to it. I'm sure there might be some parts that are hard at some point, but right now, this is just like, yeah, push this piece there, slide that in there, do that, bing, bang, boom, model kit. It's pretty standard so far. Again, this should not be an extensive build. As far as wrestling goes, yeah, that's the card for next Saturday. Again, it'll happen while I am asleep. I know a couple people were like, "Oh, are you going to get up early?" I was like, "No, I don't want to get up early for that show." I'll probably just watch it later. All right, we'll put this in here. Put that in there. Let's see, other things. Other things and things to chat about. Talk about The Rock, talk about that. Let's see. Tony Khan decided to announce Rob Van Dam is going to be on. Rob Van Dam occasionally wrestles for AEW, and he will be there on Wednesday. But they went ahead and announced that Rob Van Dam is going to be wrestling for AEW in April on the 20th. Rob Van Dam, marijuana enthusiast, will be wrestling for AEW on 4/20. Smoke him if you got him. That's when I read that, I was like, yeah, you know what? Fucking sure. Fine. Rob Van Dam's gonna wrestle on that day. Yeah. You know what? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you get Rob Van Dam and have him wrestle on 4/20 if you could? Lock that in early. And also promote it. Promote your April 20th wrestling show in February. You know what? You got a pay-per-view coming up. Sure. Promote the thing that happens after the pay-per-view. Why not? Just get ahead of it. That's a thing you could do. Ooh, I'm yawning. My apologies. Sorry, everybody. I'm a little low energy today. I did yard work. Did a bunch of yard work today. Just enough leaves have fallen that I wanted to get those up, mulch all those leaves up, try to clean up around here, water in some plants that are fighting to survive in this annoying weather where it's cold and then not cold and then cold and then not cold. And by cold, I mean like in the 50s, but then also it can get up to 70, but then go back down to like the low 50s in the course of a day. And that is frustrating. Again, not super cold for real, but just more like annoying. It's just mostly just like rude. Need PC9. Okay, which is right here. Let's see, other wrestling things and things. How you doing tonight, chat? You're incredibly quiet, and like I've talked about lurkers, right? I do talk about lurkers, and I am fine with lurking. Like you might have me on your phone while you're working, or on another monitor while you're doing other things, or whatever you got going, whatever you're up to, you might be up to that stuff. And like, yeah, you do you have your life and enjoy your time and all that. It is fun when people chat and like let me know what's up and like talk about stuff. Like that is fun. That is my preferred method. So because I am doing this live, so I do like to hear what you are up to occasionally. And sometimes I may even prompt you to talk like I'm doing right now. Because Lord Crashington says it's been below freezing all day with a couple inches of snow that fell overnight. So yeah, you got snow over there. See, like I said, when I say it's cold here, I'm talking relatively. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, it sucks that it's 50, sometimes it's 50 degrees around here. Like, I'm not trying to say that that's like terrible and that I'm feeling the cold. I'm saying it fluctuates about 20 degrees, 20 to 25 degrees at any given time. And that's frustrating for the plants that are trying to survive and me, who is trying to live his life. Like, those are just frustrating things to have to work around. We're going to do a little panel lining here because we are done with our chest. This kit, as I said, coming together nice and fast. Do I need to do anything here? I can do that there. Yeah. But yeah, I understand that I am living a luxurious life in my, I don't really need to worry too much about the cold. I got no snow. John says, hi, I'm John. We got some rain, and I wish it would stop raining because California needs it. Yeah. But California needs it. I thought you were saying, I wish it would stop raining because California needs our rain. California definitely does need the rain. It is annoying when it rains a lot because I do know, anecdotally, I should say, that various friends of mine in California have been dealing with too much rain. And there is such a thing as too much rain, and it is really annoying when it rains all the time. A couple of years ago in February when I was here, because, you know, I'm here by myself for a while, about 30 days, I believe. Yeah, 30 days, because I think today was day 30 of me making meals for myself. But yeah, I know that it rained a lot. This is a couple of years ago. It rained more days than it didn't. And that was psychologically really bad because I felt odd about leaving the house and I had to do stuff. And it was just like really frustrating because I was feeling very cooped up. Just as my county. I'm all over the place. I read that as cousin for a second and realized I was wrong. My county has some flood alerts going, but around where I live is generally pretty safe. Well, good to know. Glad to hear it, and John. Hope that continues. Hope you stay safe and things are good there with all of the rain. We did get a little rain the other day, but luckily that was a couple days ago. So today I was able to go out and do some yard work, as I said. Got to climb, put a ladder up. I say climb. I got to put a ladder up and chop down some branches on a big palm. I got to do that. That's on my list. Some dead branches that need to come down because it's just going to fall anyway. So maybe I can do a controlled one and then break it up and it doesn't fall and hit somebody or something. So I got to do that, but I didn't do that today. I'm going to do that probably tomorrow. I'm trying to break it up because even though I took an allergy pill, my body is still like, hey, what's up with all this pollen and dust you absorbed? Like, why did that happen? Why would you do that to yourself, Pat? So I gotta take care of number one, me. As someone still paying most of my mortgage, I need the house to not float away. Yeah, it would be great if it didn't float or flood or leak or become a home for wayward water so you can keep paying off that mortgage and not worry about stuff. Yeah, that would be pretty swell. I might even go on a limb and say it shouldn't. Your house shouldn't float. Yeah, generally, your house should only float if it's a riverboat, and then it should float very well, but also not take on water. No house should take on water unless your house has a submersible in it, and then you have to take on water to go out the porthole. I was trying to think of a situation where you would want to take on water in a house, and you gotta equalize the pressure in your house somehow. I don't know. Baths and sinks, yes, controlled areas for that. Indeed. I just did. Hey, that somehow that reminded me I have dishes to put away. I ran the dishwasher today and forgot to put those dishes away. I got to do that at some point. We put the backpack on when we built the chest here, which is odd. Sometimes you do that after, but whatever. We finished the chest, including the backpack. So that's done. So now we can move on to the head, and I get to work with tiny stickers before the hour is up, which is not terrible, but not the best. I would sometimes prefer not to do that right now, but whatever. Do what you got to do. Make it happen how you want it to happen. Did I forget something? No, I didn't forget something. My brain was like, you forgot to do this thing. Did you leave dirty dishes in the sink for more than an hour? No, John. Oh, do I ever leave dirty dishes in the sink for more than an hour? Yeah. You know what? Yeah. That's my brain does not, the OCD that I have does not, and my OCD and ADHD symptoms do not include that. Like if I make lunch, I don't wash my dishes before I eat. I make lunch, and then I get to my dishes. I'm a staunch dirty dishes need to be in the dishwasher as soon as possible. Yeah, that's not me. I don't need that. I don't buy into that, or I believe that, but I don't follow through on making sure that happens. I guess I should frame it like that. Yeah, like some days I'll be like, oh, I'll get to that later, and I get distracted and I do other things, and then next thing I know, I walk by the kitchen and I'm like, shit, I gotta wash those dishes, and then I do. Lord Crash says, I wish I did them a bit quicker. Yeah, I mean, like I said, sometimes I will wash as I go sometimes, depending on what I'm doing. But I do clean up after myself. I do clean up for myself, obviously. But I do also clean as I go fairly often. So I will be, working on something and then stop and do something and then clean up. But yeah, dishes will pile up. I don't leave stuff overnight. That's not my style. I do let things soak, certainly. And I do let the dishwasher pile up quite a bit because, I don't know, sometimes you got a lot of dishes. You just gotta, you want to let the dishwasher fill up with stuff before you start throwing things in there willy-nilly. All right, so that's A19 and A22. And then I need A17, which is the back of the head. Sorry, the front of the head is A17. So we'll get that on there. So this is the first step here. Then we got more steps. And we have, appears to be 3 stickers, which sounds about right. Front camera, back camera, eyes. Sounds about right. So we got this piece here. This is seeming very straightforward, as is the rest of this kit, but you never know. Sometimes they get you. Sometimes you're like, this just doesn't fit right. I don't know why. And you're like, what am I doing wrong? But so far anyway, knock on wood. I had to lean over to knock on some wood. Knock on wood, this is going to be a straightforward kit. Simple as hell. Simple and clean. He says as he immediately can't figure out how to slide this piece in. Oh, there we go. I see it now. There we go. Future Crashington curses past cat Crashington. Oh, you're more of that's a chore for my future self person. Yes. Yeah, I understand, Lord Crashington. You're a later Lord Crashington will deal with that. I totally understand that as far as vis-a-vis dishes. When it comes to dishes, I totally get that. That's not necessarily me, but I do understand it. All right, so we got this piece here. Then we're going to connect that to the back of it, which is A16, the back of the head. So we'll put that there. And then A16, we're going to need C. And we'll just pop A13 out of here. Our fins, our V fin, which is going to have a sticker that goes on it. That's the front camera. Goes in the V fin. White. This is a main-ass Gundam. This is the main-ass Gundam in your show. And you have a white V fin. That's not the reason why no one takes age seriously. And no one ever talks about age. This is not the reason why age isn't talked about. But it is weird that the V-fin is white. Normal my ass. It's not even basic. It's just strange. It's a weird choice. I don't like it. I've never cared for any of the age designs. So here's the thing about age. My opinion on age is the designs of the Gundams are not good. The grunts are all awesome. The Gundam Age grunts are all weird and wild and cool. So the mobile suits that are not Gundams in the series are pretty fucking rad. And I've built some on stream, and I stand by all those kits as being pretty goddamn cool as hell. But yeah, when it comes to the regular old builds, like I'm not feeling it as much. All right, so we got as far as here. Now the V-fin here is going to have a sticker, and then it's going to go like this. But we want to put the sticker on before we put this on, the eye sticker on before we do that. So we'll rock this out. Come on. There we go. So now we have two stickers here. We'll do the easier one first, which is the sticker for the front camera. We also have the back camera. The back camera is also pretty easy to put on. The eyes are just going to be the hardest. Now, do I like teal as an eye and camera color? Yeah, I like that. I like the teal here. I think the teal is neat. I like that the chest has teal in it at the center of the chest to complement the other colors. I think that is neat. I think teal is an underrepresented color in Gundam as an accent color. So I do like that. But in general, it's just not my vibe. Like this shit's just not what I'm here for. I don't think about age. I saw this up on Amazon and I was like, well, I haven't built it. I built the AGE-2 or AGE-3. I can't remember which one I built. But we have built another one of these on stream. I just can't remember which one. And that's not necessarily like an indication of my feelings on it that I don't remember, because I don't remember a lot of the kits I've built on stream. Because I have built so many of them. But, yeah. It didn't really leave an impression, I guess I'll say. There. And then the eyes. Let's get the eyes on, and then we can... Then we have... I don't remember... I think these go on the side skirt, and then this is for the weapon. And again, the matching teal, I'm a fan of that. The teal is probably my favorite part of this kit. I mean, it is a classic Gundam in the red, white, and gold. Red, white, blue, and gold colors. The colors are good. It's just not super speaking to me. We'll put these eyes on, and then we'll get the head assembled. Then we'll panel line after the pause for the cause, because I want to have an opportunity to talk to y'all about ways you can support the channel and all that shit. Is that your bunch of swords pointing at your neck meme opinion on Gundam shows? I guess so. No, because I don't think me saying that the grunts in Gundam Age or teal is the thing that would get me a knife pointed at me. You know what the knife will be pointed at for? The swords pointed at you? I would say this, and this is a controversial Gundam opinion, Gundam anime opinion. The best Gundam series to start with is the most recent one. You shouldn't actually start with the original. You should start with whatever's newest, because if it's new, it has high production values and looks good. And also, it's generally not part of the Universal Century, which is long and complicated and years spanning in universe and outside the universe, and requires some boring ass shit and old animation that's beautiful but also old. That you should just start with whatever's new, which for some people means their first Gundam series should have been Build, which like is a love letter to Gundam and maybe a weird start, but it's the new series. Whatever. That's my main opinion: is you start with whatever's newest, which people don't want to hear because they want me to be an evangelist for the early shit. And the other opinion on that one, which is that I like, this is the weird one, right? Y'all know this though, because you know me enough to know this. I like the stuff that's outside the Universal Century more than I like Universal Century. I'm a Wing kid. I'm a Wing teen. Let's be real. I wasn't a kid when Wing came out. I'm a Wing teen. I like G Gundam and I like Gundam X, which in some ways is trying to be a modern 90s modern interpretation of the 79 series, the 20-year anniversary, and they're like get weird with it. But I Iron Blooded Orphans is my favorite series on any given day. Witch from Mercury is my other favorite series on any given day. Wing is my first love. I don't like Universal Century as much or more than the weird, wacky leaps that they made. You got to get some introduction to Char Amuro out of the gate. See, that, my opinion, no, you don't. You don't have to. But those are my hot take Gundam opinions. It's people really hate those opinions. People whose opinion on other things I value very much, we disagree when it comes to Gundam, because I'm just like, yeah, pick a Gundam. You know, I have a friend who's like, well, I like it as a mecha series, but it's not a Gundam series. And like that, they're talking about G Gundam, because G Gundam is like a fighting anime. And I'm like, no, it's a Gundam series. Sorry, Domon is one of the best Gundam pilots. Domon is a top 5 Gundam pilot, protagonist, main dude. Yeah, G Gundam's a fucking mess and a nightmare in many instances, but fucking Domon rules. King of Hearts. Domon is awesome. And like, if he's in a not particularly great show, but he's still one of my favorite. G Gundam is a terrible introduction to Gundam, says Lashbrook. It's a terrible introduction to some of the themes of Gundam, for sure. It is a terrible introduction to some of the larger themes that encompass many Gundam series. But if you are a fan of people in robots yelling things at other people in robots, it's a really good one of those. There are ridiculous conversations that happen in G Gundam, dramatic, over-the-top nonsense, to people that aren't looking at one another, but like they're vibing and fighting. You should just start them on G Reco. Yeah, I mean, look, if G Reco is your first Gundam series, fine. Gundam AGE, if that's your first series, fine. I have had people who got into G Witch who are like, what should I watch next? And I'm like, well, what do you want? Do you want a happy ending? Or do you want to feel real sad about Gundam? Because I got options for you. I always have options for you. But now the first Gundam series I'll tell people to watch is G-Witch, because it's approachable. G-Witch is incredibly approachable right now. Because it is a fish out of water story. I would say don't watch the prologue. Watch the series, then go, and then a couple episodes in, when you're starting to feel bad, watch the prologue. You don't want to jump from the prologue, in my opinion. You don't want to jump from the prologue to weird girl on the spectrum goes to Gundam school. That's just my opinion. And then from there, we can figure it out. The main problem is if they like G Gundam a bunch, where do you lead from there? It's such an outlier. So I think you go from G Gundam to Build, maybe even Build Divers, Build Fighters Try, but you go to the Build series. You jump from G Gundam to the Build series. Or you go to Wing and you go, hey, so you watched the robot fighting one, now watch a shonen pretty boy version and see what that's about. See if you like that shit. I don't know. You can jump around. But I'd say you start with whatever Gundam series you want to start with. I would say right now it's Wing. I'm never going to be the you should start with the first one guy, because that's just not, because I don't agree with it. So I'm not going to tell people you got to track down the original series. Now, some people say you can watch the movies, which, you can do that. You can watch Origins if you want. That's just not my vibe. We got to panel line this, but we got to stop talking about this. I fell into a trap. We got to do a pause for the cause. Look, this will not be the last time we talk about what Gundam's a series to start with. And that will not be the last time I give my unpopular opinion about Gundam series. Because I do have unpopular Gundam opinions. But now's the part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support the channel. And everything I do here, you could help out with that. Continue to let me make bad opinions while building model kits. If you are currently a subscriber to the Build With Baer Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, you get that token. You can use it on anybody. And if you wanted to use it on me, your friend Pat, you could do that if you wanted to. That's the easiest way to support what I do here. You could be like Bobby Dice Roller, who gifted 5 gift subs this month, which is rad. Thank you, Bobby. Or you could be like Harold, who just tonight cheered and topped the cheerleader board, which is also just rad and cool. You could do that if you wanted to. If you're not following, if you came here because Makers and Crafting and you were like, oh, this person has the most views of anyone in Makers and Crafting right now, I don't know if that's true. I could find that out right now. I can just go and see. I'm often at the top of the Makers and Crafting leaderboard, or views, I should say. I'm not right now. Okay. Let's see. Viewers high to low. Yeah, I'm not right now. There is somebody doing Lego, and they have more viewers. But I'm often towards the top of this category, which is rad. So maybe you're coming in for that. Hit the follow button. I stream Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I do model kit building Monday, Thursday, Saturday. And then on Tuesday, I do something else. This coming Tuesday, I'm going to be watching some old-ass wrestling. That's right. Some Japanese pro wrestling. I'm going to do some live commentary over some tapes. I got some old video to watch from that on Tuesday, and I hope you'll come back on Tuesday and check that out. But right now, model kit building, of course. Now, I have other ways to support me. Everything I'm going to talk about here is optional. You're under no obligation to do any of this stuff, but if you wanted to, you've been more than welcome to do that. You can always go to my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, a $3, a $5, and a $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. I'm currently at $100 over there on the old Patreon, which is great. It's nice. Goes towards model kit building. We'll talk more about that in a second. I also have a YouTube channel, and subscribing to my YouTube is, of course, free. You're more than welcome to jump over to my YouTube at any time. Become a subscriber there because I make good videos, and maybe you'll like to see those videos. Also, if you wanted to, you become a member over there. And for $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos a day early. I just recorded my next 2 Wednesday videos. They're both good. So check that out. Let's see. What else we got here? YouTube. Oh, those are all monthly ways to support me financially. But maybe you just want to, on occasion, support me out of pocket. Just like once in a while. Throw me $1 or 2. To help me keep doing this. I have a Ko-Fi and a PayPal. You could do that if you wanted to. Everything I make through direct donations, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And from that fund, I buy model kits. The Sandrock, which we completed tonight. Boom. That came from me buying it. That's my backlog. This kit right now, which we're going to panel line in just a second, the head of, the AGE-1 Normal. Boom. That came from me purchasing from support. Past you is helping present me. So if present you wants to help future me, you can help me out. Also, I have a backlog. This is from that backlog. But my backlog, I pause, right? I stop. I'm like, nope, not going to build from this. Not going to do whatever here. If someone buys anything from my Amazon wish list, because that jumps the queue. Becomes the next thing I build. I make a dedicated video about the thing. I added some new stuff on my wish list. I have Lego sets and model kits. I recently added a few new things here. Another cheap model kit. It's a little mech from the Space series. It's a space mech. It has a little robot friend. It seems like a cute little kit. Very inexpensive. That'll be very easy for me to build. But yeah, I also recently added... I recently added a high grade that I would love to build. The Amazing Red Warrior model kit. It is, as far as I know, the only model kit in the Gundam line that shares a name with a wrestler. The Amazing Red is a professional wrestler. He trained a lot of people, including Zelina Vega. He currently helps produce and run a Hog based out of New York. House of Glory Wrestling, based out of New York. But yeah, the Gundam Amazing Red Warrior, which is not related to him at all, but does share a name. I just added that to the wish list because I saw that was available. And I was like, oh, I'd like to build that. It's a little expensive for a high grade, but it's a cool fucking looking high grade. And there's some tools at the bottom if you want to help me out, but you don't know what to build. You can or buy for me to build. You can always do that. That's an easy way to support me is buy a kit for me to put together. And you'll get a dedicated video about it on my YouTube, and I'll build there. I have been on... I got a notification, friends. I've been on Throne for 2 years, and no one has ever bought anything off my Amazon wishlist alternative. But I still have it, and I have to update it. That's on me. I don't update that enough. I will do that. But yeah, it's been 2 years. And then the easiest way, the quote unquote easiest way to help me out, if you wanted to buy something for me to build, is go to USA Gundam Store, buy a gift card there. Send me a whisper on Twitch or a DM on Twitter with that gift card code that you get in your email, and then I will build something on, or I'll buy something for USA Gundam Store. You can make a suggestion, or I'll just buy it. Again, the most convoluted way to support me. If you want to support me for free, join my Discord. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. My Discord is nice, and we would love to have you there. A couple video links for you to check out. Pat Baer's Anime Club. I put up a new episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club that I want you to watch, and that episode is me trying to answer a question with facts and also subjective opinions. Have the Anime Awards ever gotten it right? Have they ever gotten the Anime of the Year category correct? Because they're not this year. 2024 Anime Awards, which looks at the year 2023, fall 2022 into summer 2023. Are they going to get it right? No, because Witcher Mercury's not nominated for Anime of the Year, so they're not going to get it right. Have they ever gotten it right? I looked at it and did research and gave my opinions. So check that out. And then Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation. It's in shorts form. It gets posted to various social medias. This is the YouTube version. It is in under a minute. I will try to sell you on an anime. This week, I'm talking about Otakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku, an anime that is on Amazon Prime Video, but that's the way to watch it. Otakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku is a fantastic romantic comedy series. All this month, I'm doing romantic comedies because of Valentine's Day. And this one is great. There are so many goddamn nerd references, and the thing I didn't mention in the video that I'll tell you this about Otakoi that rules is they licensed all the references. So they make references to things, and they don't do like a fake-ass name or like censor bars over their crudely drawn on purpose drawn Goku. They like license things to be able to reference it in the show, which is wild and cool. That is just a cool little thing in a sea of cool things in Otakoi. But I feel like that is in American, Western audiences, that is a hidden gem because people don't think about Amazon when they think about anime. Because Anime Strike failed. This came out after Anime Strike, but it was a deal that they made when Anime Strike was still a thing, as far as I can tell. So yeah. All right, I have talked a lot about anime. It's time to talk about anime. I'm going to drink some water. I'm going to switch to the overhead. I'm going to panel line this head here on this kit, and then we are going to get into some anime that I watched in the past 2 days. Before I do that, I will drink some water and dramatically transition to the overhead right now. All right, I'm going to start panel lining. But while I do that, let me get my gray out because I need the gray. I will also, I'm going to take the hat off. It'll be easier. I'm going to dance a little bit. Thank you for using your channel points, John, and unlocking the dance. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, yeah, the old guitar comes in. Oh, yeah. It's a fun jam. I like this one. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got the organ coming in. That song just builds and builds. It does sound a little like another one bites the dust. Yes, because it's very bass forward. It's very bass forward, and certainly it is a funk song that is clearly P-Funk or Parliament Funkadelic inspired, but the bass line does have a little. Hey, welcome back, Kato. The bass line does have a bit of a little Queen. A little bit there. Good vibes to that song, though. Or a little dance number. All right, so it's time to talk about anime. Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, and The Unwanted Undead Adventurer. Both of these shows, it is a coincidence that both these shows are currently in a training arc. We are currently in the testing arc, I should say, not a training arc. Frieren and Fern are both trying to become first-class mages, which will earn them the right to enter the demon continent, which they will need to do. Because at least one of them has to become a first-class mage, but not necessarily both of them. Now, you're like, Frieren is a strong enough mage. She's probably the strongest mage in the world. She's definitely strong enough. She helped defeat the Demon Lord. How come she's not a first-class mage? And I don't know if I ever said the explanation, which is basically like she didn't bother ever getting certificates because associations she outlives them. She's going to live a really long time. So she's never bothered. Now, this one is currently also being run. The Mage Association right now is being run by an elf named Sense or Sensei. I'm going to say Sense. 18 people are moving on to the second round. Fern and Frieren are among them. And basically, because she's the head, her test is impossible. They have to get to the bottom floor of the ruins of the king's tomb, which is a dungeon. So they got to go to the bottom of the dungeon. And it's a timed thing. Anyone who gets to the bottom will pass. If if you are in trouble, you can shatter a bottle, and that bottle will summon a golem that will escort you back and protect you. And if you use that, of course, you fail. And then also, at the beginning of the next day, the bottles are automatically going to shatter because there's a time limit. So you can't just be like, oh, I'll just stay down here for a week. So there's some uncertainty about that. No one has ever cleared this dungeon before, though. And so it's like, yeah, but if you're a first class mage, it shouldn't be a problem. You can just do it. You know what? I'm going to clip the nubbins here just because I like to clip the little safety nubbins. Make this a little sharper here. I'm going to clip that nubbin, and I'm going to clip the other nubbin. They do make this easy if you want to clean. I obviously, I would go in with my sandpaper stick to clean this up here, which I'm not going to do right now. But clip that. Yeah, there we go. That's not sharp, but it's sharper. And then we put it on there. All right, our head is done. Our chest is done. We are moving on to... do I need to do these at the same time here? And we're going to do a shoulder. I guess we're going to build all of an arm and then build all of the other arm. We're not doing any of it at the same time. So let's move on to the arm here while I continue to talk about Frieren. Basically, Decken, who is the old man that we will see more of later, Decken, the seasoned old man, is just like, hey, we could all work together, and that would probably be smart, wouldn't it? Which is like, yeah, especially since it's a time crunch. But they end up splitting up into groups because they went from competing against each other in groups and some of them almost dying. They went from that to now suddenly together. People aren't trusting, so they just kind of split off in their own groups or trying to be with people they feel more comfortable with, which, like, I totally understand. It's 31 and 32. We'll get that going here. This is 32. So that doesn't work out. Let's see. Sense is going to follow Frieren and Fern. And don't worry, folks. If you were like, wait, is Fern going to take this totally seriously and be laser focused? No. She falls for mimic traps again. That's her Achilles heel. It's her own curiosity because cool spell books could be in treasure chests. And she apparently has never learned a spell to figure out if it's a mimic or not. So she constantly is falling for mimic traps, and it is still very funny. And they're doing well. They're working very well together. Frieren talks a bit about the reason why that they were, she obviously likes collecting spell books, old weird spell books, but the real reason that they ever explored dungeons is because Himmel loved exploring dungeons. He was a big dungeon boy. That was his kind of adventure. Those are the things he liked. Fern gets asked what her motivation to be a mage, because much like Frieren, Sense cannot feel any ambition or determination, which is the same thing she said to Frieren. And then Fern is like, it makes Frieren happy to see me do spells and to travel. And so we're traveling together because that brings joy to my companion and my teacher. Then we find hey, you're like, Pat, this dungeon doesn't seem that particularly deadly. How come no one's ever, finished it, ever gotten to the bottom level? Well, we find out. It's because an element of this dungeon is there are mimics that mimic the people in the dungeon, who are, of course, good at being mages. They're strong enough to make it to this test. So there are replicas that are around, and they're perfect copies. They know the magic and their fighting styles, and people have to fight each other. Decken's group manages to find or to defeat a copy of Lawfen. I had to look up the name of that because I could not remember who that character was. But then at the end of this episode, they run into Frieren's copy, which they're going to fucking have trouble with because Frieren's a really good mage. We don't know how this copy is going to do. So we got more action coming. This had some fun little, like a little humor, it was mostly in the modern. I do think, my opinion, Frieren is best. The show Frieren is best when it is a balance of our characters that we like doing things and also reminiscing and comparing and contrasting with the past, because that's very true to the series. I will say, I like this arc in the manga. I was glued to it, and I was very happy to get more about the arc as it was happening. But it is a little bit of a shame, as I am a fan of Stark, who is not in this at all. Like there's a little bit of that in between, but we don't see much of Stark because he's not a mage, so he's just like not around, and that's a shame because the three of them together are kind of my favorites, and Fern and Stark's slow romance is one of the best parts of the show, in my opinion. So, but this is going to be till the end. Like, we're going to have a lot of this stuff, a lot of battles and such to either get into or be bored by, because I know some people are not thrilled with this arc, but I am. I like it. So that's that. And as I said, the Unwanted Undead Adventurer, we also are getting a test arc. This is to become a bronze level in the bronze level exam to rank up to be bronze rank. Our guy Rhett, in his previous life, his original life, he never made it past iron, which is a starter. He has done very well in this challenge. He is with a party, and they have to defeat a boss monster in order to pass. And basically, it's already pretty much a guarantee he's going to do it. So he gives the opportunity for his party, Riz and Laura, to get some experience. He wants them to fight the monsters, because that way he can look out for them and they can grow. So even as a much more powerful version of himself, he still wants people to grow and learn, because he could one shot this giant slime creature. I don't know if we one shot it, but he could defeat this slime creature certainly. But is that going to help them? Is that going to help them in the long run? Instead, he can just look out for them. So they defeat the slime, the grand slime, I should say, not giant. It is, but the grand slime, which sounds more impressive, I guess. The old grand slime. They are the first party to get promoted to bronze, and they get potions and a carrying case. Oh, and there's on the way out, he's like, hey, like, labyrinths are no joke, right? We kind of breeze through this, but they can be really tough. Check this out, and shows them a floor of the labyrinth that is a giant forest that changes all the time. And he's like, this is kind of the shit that you could be dealing with. Sometimes this stuff is a nightmare. Let's see. They depart. They hope to see him again, which is nice. Rent, Sheila from the guild, who has been looking and searching frantically for Rent previously, is like, are you the missing bronze? Like, you are definitely different. You sound different. You act different. Your power is different. Are you him? That's not necessarily the most common name. And he does not want to tell her. Because, he's a monster. He knows he's a monster. So she basically makes a secrecy contract. It's like a magical contract that she'll become his slave if she betrays him. And so he's like, hey, this is what's up. And here's my secret. here's what's going on. She agrees to help him, which is having someone in the guild watching his back and, and maybe dissuading people is great, since there will be strong people that may decide at some point, hey, I got to make this monster get out of here. I got to purify this monster or whatever. So it in the long run, it's great. We do get a reminder that Lorraine is the actual monster. The human Lorraine is like, do I need to kill Sheila? And she's like, no, actually, okay. She doesn't, but like her first instinct is, someone knows Rhett's secret. I need to protect Rhett. I'm going to have to kill this girl. And I think that is I didn't know if that was going to get cut from the light novel and the manga. I didn't get cut. I like that it didn't get cut because it does show how maybe a little overprotective she is. And that Rhett, who is a monster now, is definitely in some ways more human than she is. And I like that. I'm glad that it's in there. Let's see. I need B7. B7 here. Flying through this kit as I knew we would. Let's see. Okay, so Sheila reveals that some novice adventurers are getting kidnapped. They're disappearing. And the guild is treating it as mass kidnapping. And apparently, Wolf, who is the guild master, thinks that it's Rent because this the super strong guy came out of nowhere. Why was he a bronze rank? Why is he at this age just getting into it? It's suspicious. He's suspicious of him. So Rhett is going to avoid the guild while Sheila tries to convince Wolf that Rhett is on the up and up. So that's like one of those things where like immediately bringing Sheila into his confidence was smart, because the guild master is definitely like obviously our boy is suspicious and you should be suspicious of him because he is a monster, but he's not the kidnapper. So it's like a different sort of issue. But that could draw unwanted attention. And also, hey, there's a kidnapper out there. Somebody's kidnapping adventurers. So got to figure out what's going on there. All right, I have now assembled a hand, and now we are going to pan a line of hands. That's it for anime. That's my anime talk for the night. Frieren continues to be cool as hell. Unwanted Undead Adventurer continues to be cool as hell. That's not necessarily a show that you're going to hear a lot of people talking about. People will definitely be talking about Frieren. I think the Unwanted Undead Adventure is just fucking cool. And also, I am caught up on solo leveling. I'm not talking about solo leveling on a weekly basis, but I am caught up on solo leveling. And this episode wasn't as like, oh, fuck, as last episode. Episode 6 was, I think, definitely more oh, fuck. But episode 7, still a lot of cool action. This is based on a manhwa, and they made a choice because we're going from a 2-dimensional comic to a 3-dimensional anime, or seemingly a faux 3D or whatever. They made a choice on a couple things that I think are really cool and really small, some small details, because he has a notification screen, and the way it appears in front of him moves around, like it's very cool. Like he gets distracted. It's not always just in front of him, which I think is a neat touch that is not necessarily in the source material, because it's a flat plane. He really couldn't show that. But the animation, it's really good. I don't love the opening song. I know some people are into it, but Soul Leveling is still pretty fucking good. If you're looking for a Japanese animation produced manhwa, it to me already is the best. There have only been so many, but I think it is top tier. I think it is top tier as far as manhwa adaptations go. Originally, I would have said that the best manhwa interpretation would have been God of High School. And that's a rough one because they cut a lot out, but the vibe is really good of what they cut out of that. So maybe, I still think maybe God of High School is the best manhwa interpretation. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. That's right, you. What are you watching? What are you playing right now? Or are you going to the movies? You watching anything on demand? You playing any video games? What you got going on? What's up? What's up? I had a bad string of Hearthstone games. I went 0-7 the other day, and it was really demoralizing. And I was just like, I'm done playing Hearthstone for a while. That has changed. I got some wins in. I feel better. But that made me feel real shitty. It was just like not like switching decks, switching formats didn't help. Going to my I have a couple decks that are not, they're good. I have plenty of decks that are weird and silly and fun and maybe bad, but I enjoy playing them. And then I have some decks that are just this deck is a warrior control deck that isn't necessarily the most fun to play, but it does get wins when I need to get some wins, and I wasn't getting wins with that deck, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm in a bad spot here. So that was definitely not cool and not fun, but getting better in that. And I drove around in Mars First Logistics. There has not been an update since the last time I streamed it. I just like that game. I'm going to be playing that at the end of February, and I just wanted to play a little Mars First Logistics, complete a couple tasks, and just remember how to play that game, so that I'm not surprised when it's time to play that game on stream. Also, I finally watched Iron Claw, the Von Erich family documentary. That is really fucking good. There are two glaring things about Iron Claw that I think you have to be a wrestling. I think one of them, even if you were a casual wrestling person, you would go, that's weird. And the other one, you might not even notice because I think the decision they made in it is smart. So the first thing is that a lot of the cameos that play people are great. There are a few people that don't get a lot of scenes. They're in flashes or whatever, and they play historical wrestling figures of the past, and you're like, yeah, that's good, that's good. The Harley race is unbelievable. He looks like Harley. He has the guttural sound. He sounds like King Harley Race. It's really fucking good. That Harley race is great. The Ric Flair is bad. He's doing a classic Ric Flair promo, and he's got the vibe kind of pretty good. It's not perfect. It's pretty good. The thing with Ric Flair is Ric Flair's promos have stood the test of time, and people go back to them all the time. This guy's woo is terrible. And you're selling yourself pat. In that promo that he's doing, Ric Flair's woo sounds a little different than Ric Flair's woo is traditionally. The woo that is traditionally thought of. And you're right. But you got to do the right woo. Even if canonically, factually, that version of Ric Flair was doing a woo that's a little different, it's one of the most iconic things in modern wrestling. And classic wrestling. So you got to do the thing. That Ric Flair is bad, and it stands out as bad. The other choice they made, which is an interesting choice, which I think makes sense to do, but I know for some people is jarring, is the movie switches opinions on a thing. Wrestling is a work. It is a predetermined thing. Especially in that era, not every match was like, I'm going to do this and you're going to do that. Not everybody was Randy Savage about it, right? But a lot of them knew, all right, I'm going to get my stuff in. I'm going to do this, this, this. After I do this thing, when the crowd is at this peak, then you get your comeback. I'll feed you. You take me down. You hit your moves. We'll knock the referee. There'll be a run in. So and so is going to hit you with a club. We go home. Like, whatever. There was conversation. They knew how to finish the match. When it was time to finish the match, they knew how to finish the match, right? Wrestling isn't fake. The outcomes have been decided ahead of time, right? This movie believes that to be true, and the wrestlers believe that to be true, except when they don't. And I think that's because tension's the wrong word. Conveying disappointment is stronger to go, oh, we lost. Dad's going to be disappointed. We didn't win this. Instead of, the NWA decided that we shouldn't go over this person. Dad's going to be disappointed that the NWA waited until we got there, or this promoter waited till we got there to tell us ahead of time that we're not going to win. So the movie makes the decision in some key moments that it's dramatically more interesting to pretend that wrestling is a real sport and not predetermined. But other times they talk about the booking and all of that. And I don't think it's not a flub. Like, somebody some people might say, like, oh, they fucked up, or they don't know, or they changed their minds. It's like, no, they took a liberty. Like, the movie has liberties in the story. There's a brother that's not in the movie because his life is short and tragic, and in a fucking tragic movie, there is a character who is just too fucking sad for reality. That movie is sad as hell because that story is sad as hell. So there's a brother that's not in it. Like, there are liberties, right? Some might even say they didn't go far enough with Fritz. And if you watch that movie and you don't know much about the Von Erichs, there are other documentaries and stories and episodes of TV shows about the Von Erichs, and I encourage you to look it up because you'll learn more about the fucking Von Erichs and fucking Fritz. But yeah, that's a weird thing in the movie where they're like not full, like stylistically they make decisions that the story will be better if the wrestlers are disappointed in that, as if the match was shoot and not a work. And that's weird to me. But otherwise, it's great. I recommend it. It's sad as hell. But I knew that. There are real wrestlers that make appearances, and I pop every time. I'm like, fuck yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, cool. That's awesome. It's like, because it is. My nostalgia, perks up for certain wrestlers making appearances in that movie, or either the real wrestlers playing other people, or just references to them. I am now going to read what y'all have been writing in the chat because it's nice to check that in. Aristofan saw Poor Things in the theater last night. It's a strange story but pretty funny. All right. I do not know Poor Things. Do not know what that is, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hell yeah. Lord Crescent says, I saw that Deep Rock Galactic Survivor released this week, so I'll have to get that for my new ass game. Good game fix since I like the demo a lot. Yeah. I have heard good things about Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. A code was offered to some people, and I didn't jump on the code because I didn't see it before other people did. But I still might check that out in the future. Because that did seem cool. I'm not the biggest fan of the assisted games, the assisted shooters, the ass games as they're called by some, but I like them enough. I'm not the biggest proponent of those style games. Akito put in the Ric Flair. The bloody Ric Flair emote, which I'm still surprised that's an emote. Thank you for that. Thank you for your contribution. Dirty says, watched Madam Web yesterday. There were a couple things I had a what the hell moment on, but it all cleared up on my mind. Checked out. It all cleared up. And your mind checked out. playing through the latest expedition in No Man's Sky and catching up on the dubs of Irma. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've never checked out the Irma-kun dubs. I'm always... Look, if there are some people, they can't focus on subtitles. They want the English, or it's just their preferred thing, right? It's not like they have to. It's just their thing. I guess if I've started a show as a dub, I will watch it dubbed. I generally don't swap back and forth, and I generally don't watch something again that I have watched previously and like go, oh, well, I will need to watch that dubbed. So I don't know how that goes. And then I'm also, I should say, sometimes a little wary of comedy dubs. But if that's how you're watching it, you're at the end of the day, you're watching Irma-kun. Welcome to Demon School Irma-kun, which is great, and I'm glad you're watching it. There is a Irma-kun AU. There are a couple AUs that are official, and one of them is everything is the same except that none of the characters are demons, and they're all within various mafias. And I have not, or crime families, and I have not read that one yet, but I am maybe a little interested. Dirty says, sorry, should say, once my mind checked out, it was a good movie. Okay. You liked Madam Web once you stopped, when you just zoned out in Madam Web. Okay. Yeah, I have no desire to check that movie out. I probably will someday, but I don't have any really strong desire for Madam Web, per se. It's not on my must-watch list. Lashbrook took a break from Mega Man and have been playing more Apex and also Tekken 8. That arcade quest is a real good way to introduce you to Tekken. Hell yeah. That sounds cool. I hope you're having a blast with Tekken. Good luck to you playing your Tekken 8 and your Mega Mans. Lord Crash says, if people think wrestling is fake, they should watch Sid Vicious jump off the rope. I mean, so here's the thing, right? Y'all know this. I don't have to be a broken record about this thing. I don't get into traps with people that are like, wrestling's not real. Because they know. I don't fully believe that people, when they say that wrestling is fake, that they think that's a gotcha. Because they're not trying to make me go, no, I believe it. It's real. The EVPs of AEW beat up Sting and his two sons because they're mad at Sting. They're not mad at Sting. That's just a storyline of what's happening. That's the events that happen, but that's not because they're mad at him. Like, I don't believe wrestling is real, and I don't think you think I believe that. Maybe there are some people that are like, hey, do you not know? Like, do you think that wrestling is like Santa Claus? Like, there might be people who think that, but I generally don't believe that those are real people. I think that people, when they say wrestling is fake, they mean that it sucks. They don't like it. I think that's when people say wrestling is fake. They're like, MMA is real and cool. Sports are real and cool. Then there will be people that say that MMA is fucking fake in that it is predetermined. And then there are plenty of people that think that professional sports is rigged and fake. And I am not one of those people for either of those. I do think that, you know what's fucking fake? You know what's fucking fake? YouTube boxing. Influencer boxing is fucking fake. That shit's not real. You know who would get mad if you said that? Fans of that bullshit would get very mad at you for saying it's fake, because to them it's very real. It's the realest thing to them. It's not real. But to some people that's the realest shit in the world. I know that wrestling is predetermined. The end, and there are storylines, and they figure shit out, and they run spots, and there is the people they're playing versions of themselves or versions completely different than them. Dustin Runnels, aka Dustin Rhodes, aka Gold Dust, is the furthest thing from Gold Dust. That's just a character he plays. That ain't him. And that's the case with many different kinds of pro wrestlers out there that are just like doing a thing and doing a performance. Adam Cole is an incredibly good wrestler and very good at playing an unbelievable, awful human being. By all accounts, Chugs is one of the nicest dudes in the world. Is just an incredibly sweet, wonderful man that just happens to be very good at playing an asshole. It happens. But I to me, it's never been like when people say like, oh, wrestling is fake. What they mean is you should like real sports instead of this. And it's just like, I like what I like, and you can like what you like. I'm not here. I like the emotions, the characterization, the storytelling medium of professional wrestling. I think it can be unbelievably exceptional and incredible. I think that it is a fantastic storytelling medium of violence and sport and athleticism, and it is one of the most diverse in styles entertainment that exists. In the same way that there are 100 kinds of anime, there are 100 kinds of wrestling. And even if I talk about action series more than I talk about romance, because like this season, none of the romance shows really spoke to me as much as they've spoken to other people. They just didn't hit me as hard as they hit other people. I can still appreciate the romance shows that are out there in the same way that I love comedy wrestling, in which case some people don't really like the comedic wrestling. They're not big fans of the funny wrestling. I think the funny wrestling is very good, and I look for the funny wrestling where I can find it, and I appreciate the funny wrestling when I come to it. But I also like women's wrestling, and some people fucking can't stand women's wrestling or all gendered wrestling because they just can't get past their own preconceptions of it. But to me, I like all kinds of different fucking wrestling. I think lots of wrestling is cool as hell. I'm a big fan of all different sorts of it. Hot take: wrestling is more real than the stock market. Yeah, John, totally. Because wrestling is based in some reality. Wrestling has rules that it enforces, or the rules exist for it to break in ways that are understandable. And when the logic of wrestling breaks, it doesn't work. When Rocky Maivia, Rocky Johnson, son, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, when Dwayne Johnson says, hey, when the 49ers lost the Super Bowl, they don't whine about it. They just move on. Now, he said that because Cody Rhodes, in his mind, Cody Rhodes wanting to face Roman Reigns for a second time is him not moving on. And that doesn't make any sense, right? That analogy doesn't work because the 49ers want to get back to the Super Bowl. And if the 49ers have to beat the Kansas City Chiefs to win the next Super Bowl, they will. Cody Rhodes wants to be champion. Roman Reigns is the champion. Cody also isn't whining. Cody won the Royal Rumble. Like, the 49ers would have to win. The 49ers aren't going to whine and get a shot. The 49ers have to earn that shot. Cody Rhodes earned the shot. And it's one of those things where it's like, you can say, hey, you should fight Seth Rollins because you're not going to beat Roman Reigns. And that's reasonable to say, even as a heel. But to like make a sports analogy that is just And it's one of those things where you're like, well, Pat, he's supposed to make you mad. And it's like, that doesn't make me mad. It makes me confused because The Rock knows what football is. The Rock probably has a better understanding of football than I do because The Rock has owned football leagues. So he probably has a better sense of that. And it feels weird that The Rock would make a bad, strange football analogy as a heel or a face. It just, the logic of it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, well, the 49ers want to go back to the Super Bowl. I guess if there was a secondary championship they could go for, if there was like a thing that wasn't the Super Bowl, but you could, the NFL, you could go to, because I guess that's what he's saying, like, don't do that. Like, I don't know. It was one of those things where I'm like, this analogy doesn't work, and it's weird that The Rock would make a bad football analogy. And I know he's a heel, but like, what are we doing here? I don't know. It was weird. Took me out of it. Anyway, I'm going to take you out of watching me stream. That doesn't make any sense. We've finished so much of this kit. I got the head, I got the chest, I got both arms done, I got the backpack done. We're ready to move on to feet on Monday's stream. And I mean, we're basically done here, except we got a raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We always end with a raid. We're going to find someone doing cool shit that we want to go hang out with. So let's get that going. Let's go find somebody who's doing cool stuff that we can go see what they're up to, because we always end with a raid, as John says there. Who's streaming on Saturday? Who's doing stuff? How long has this person been going? How long have they been streaming? They've only been streaming for 25 minutes. We're going to hang out with Pizza Suplex, who is playing Fuser, which is interesting. Fuser mixing. But yeah, let's go hang out with Pizza Suplex. That'll be rad. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me tonight. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I look forward to finding out what's going on over here. But yeah, let's go hang out. Please come along on this raid. I will say that my next stream will be on Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern, where we will continue working on this kit. I don't think we're going to finish it. We got we'll get close though. We got the feet, we got the legs, we got the side skirts, we got the weapon and the shield. I guess theoretically we could finish this by the end, but I don't necessarily think we're going to. But we will do a lot. We'll talk about anime and, I don't know, video games and manga, because it's Manga Monday. Thanks all so much for being here. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Oops. There we go. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye.